One of the absolute number one questions I get in my DMs and in comments, does coffee cause acne? Everybody wants to know, right?
Yeah.
Our audience really is like 27-year-old women to about 45. So we get a lot of those millennials. A lot of them are moms. They live on coffee. They're basically hooked up to an IV and they're like, oh, please God, no, don't tell me I have to give up my coffee in order to have clear skin.
Mm-hmm.
So we're breaking down an entire episode on the impacts that coffee has to skin, how, when to know when it's time to give it a hold, how to have it if you want to include it. We're breaking down all the nutrition tips. So let's really talk about caffeine's impact on cortisol, sebum production, adrenals, because it's not just its impact on sebum that can be impacting the acne. It's like a cascading effect in the body.
Right.
So the first thing I tell people is when they say, hey, Katie, does caffeine impact my acne? I say, well, it absolutely can, because caffeine stimulates, your cortisol production, which is that stress hormone. And the elevated cortisol levels can lead to an increase in sebum production. And sebum is that sticky, oily substance that clogs your pores and can result in breakouts. So that is the first way. Now, if we want to take that a step further, Chris, let's really talk about how is it impacting in the adrenals, how is it impacting the rest of the body? And then I want to go into additional symptoms.
This pains me. I think you you're doing trickery on me right now because I have to say it like it is. Okay, so I love coffee. We all know that. Clean, organic, Swiss water, whatever. I just want to put it out there. I do my due diligence. However, what's going to happen in these adrenals, it's going to overstimulate them. What happens is in the morning when you rise, cortisol is the hormone that allows you to rise. And when the first thing we're putting into and coursing through our veins is caffeine, it elevates that cortisol, stimulating it higher, faster. And by 10 o'clock, our cortisol production stops throughout the day, and then we slowly decline. So if you're pushing your body into a falsified cortisol alert, your body's going to say, oh, well, I don't need to make any. So watch around 10 o'clock in the morning when you're supposed to naturally stop making it, but you've already hit your first burnout. Mm-hmm. You might be going for your second cup or Joe. Or you know what? Katie said matcha's good, so I'm going to go try one of those. Something is a stimulant at that point, or you're craving sugar, right? These are the next things. So we have to look at really watching when we drink coffee, types of coffee, what we do, how's our lifestyle, the stress, because we do not want to be in adrenal fatigue.
And for acne sufferers, so many of their adrenals are struggling as it is. So many are dealing with cortisol imbalances. They're, oftentimes high anxiety, mood swings, a lot suffer with depression. They are just a lot of them are an overstimulated mom. They just got a ton of stuff going on. So we now need to look at that bigger picture of, okay, outside of the cortisol, what else is going on in the body? Because it's also going to be impacting that nervous system, right? Where it can be overstimulating our body's fight or flight response.
For sure.
And if you're already somebody that's living in fight or flight and never comes out of this, it's really not going to be great for your nervous system. So it's going to increase your anxiety. It's going to make you more jittery
Oh,
is what I was going
I'm
for.
enjoying this. I'm just sitting by watching the show.
Jittery, everybody.
Jittery's a word.
But it can even, impact mood swings, not just because of the caffeine, but because how it impacts your blood sugar. You can get a blood sugar swing after the caffeine high starts to wear off. And then when we're looking at the bigger picture of the acne sufferer, they come in feeling anxious, mood swings, blood sugar issues, overstimulated.
Yep.
So the caffeine is just really impacting so many different areas, which is just creating this giant snowball that starts to pick up steam the faster it goes.
Think about caffeine and adrenaline and things that are surging those hormones through our veins to get us out of a situation, to calm us down, these types of things. They increase that circulatory effect. So now we might have facial flushing. We might have redness. We might have irritation. So it's not always that we're going to pick up on these signs and symptoms that coffee is the issue.
Another thing to consider is also its impact on sleep, right? Because so many of our clients also come in struggling with sleep. and poor sleep is a huge factor in not just our skin health, but our body's overall health. Because we need to look at sleep as just important as eating food, drinking water, sleep.
Mm-hmm.
These three are best friends. Yet we so often are like, oh no, let's just skip over the sleep. But when we're looking at, drinking caffeine, especially anytime after like noon, I know we would push it probably to like 11 a.m. But if you're drinking caffeine in the afternoon, the early evening, this can absolutely be disrupting your sleep cycles, making it much harder to fall asleep and even get into that deep, REM,
Mm-hmm.
restful sleep period as well. And when you're sleeping, you have to remember this is when your body is self-healing. Your skin can also start to regenerate at night. And so
Mm-hmm.
if you're having crappy sleep, this is going to be less opportunity for your skin to be repairing.
Mm-hmm.
And we also know, Chris, what happens to your cortisol when you sleep?
Well, it's supposed to go down because melatonin comes up. So every hormone in your body works together. So as cortisol is pumping, insulin has to come out to kind of chill it out. So now we might have blood sugar instability, and now you have sebum production, and now, oh my gosh, and maybe it's all from the coffee, but we won't tell coffee because we love it. And vice versa, if we're not building up that melatonin, or how you're throwing a cycle off, and it's not just exclusive, but this is the coffee show. So is before bed, around 7, you're like, I'm tired. And then all of a sudden you're like, 8:30, 9 o'clock, pop the champagne. Who's ready to
Let's
party?
do this.
Woohoo! Right? This is your hormones going, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Something went off. So go back through your day, do a little chronological thing. Maybe it's hydration for the people that don't have caffeine. That's another little nugget I want you to be cognizant of.
Yeah. And so many clients, they're like, oh my gosh, I never thought I would be someone that could not have a coffee in the day. And I act like once I, detox it from my system, I have more energy, I have more focus, I'm sleeping better. I don't feel the need to have a coffee. I have a coffee because I like the experience. They're like, I actually drink decaf. I only
like
have it once in a while. So it's really incredible once you get to the other side and, you've repaired a lot of your body systems, you don't need that coffee to make it through the day. You don't need it for the energy.
What you need is a system to learn how to do it properly so that you don't go through horrific withdrawals.
That's it. Any last parting words you want to add there, Chris Brown?
Team coffee. No, team coffee.
Team matcha. Go poll. Let me know in the DMs. Let me know.
Don't do it.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you again on next Wednesday on the Clear Skin Chronicles.